Welcome to my shop. This video you're going to see was made a couple of months ago, and I lost the first few minutes of it because my computer crashed, and I had to get a new computer, and a lot of stuff was lost. Although I had backups, I still lost some stuff, so I had to kind of start from scratch. So that's where we are now. I'm actually going to refilm the first few minutes of it so you know what's going on. But first I'd like to thank all of my new subscribers, all of my subscribers in general, but the new subscribers that I have that haven't even seen a new video from me in a while. I do appreciate it. I'm going to try to get more videos out now that the weather's better. As you may or may not know, I live up in northern Ohio, and the weather has not been good. It's been very, very cold, and I do have a shop out in my garage, so I haven't been able to get out here very much. So with that said, let's get on with it. Our next project is going to be my Variac build, because I need it for the radios that I'm going to be doing. And this was my first couple of projects. These two Variacs I've had for quite a while. One was given to me, the other one I bought a long time ago. And both of them were damaged, both of them were dropped. So I went ahead and repaired them. I'm going to show you the repairs now. Let's start with this one over here. This is a 5 amp job. The Variac fell on the ground and broke. Let me show you some of the pieces. Never did get the rest of the piece for that. So I had to make a new one, and that's what I did here. This is a phenolic board that I used to repair that, and this part here broke off from right here. I was going to JB weld this on, but this is very, very strong with this phenolic on here, so I don't really need it. The other thing that happened is when it broke and it dropped, this part went right into the windings. You can't see it now because it's been repaired. I don't know if maybe I can get in a little closer. Okay, if you can see this little disruption in the windings here, this is where it was broke. There was actually two of these windings that were actually physically broken, separated. So I repaired them, soldered them back together again, and then I coated this with liquid electrical tape, and you can hardly tell that it's been broken. But this has been tested, works fine. This one, I'm not sure if this one was dropped or not, but underneath the windings there is I don't know if it's a toroid or what, but whatever it is pretty soft and brittle. And what happened was these screws were broken out of it. I tried retapping them and putting them in, but the material just kept crumbling. So what I did was I got a couple of screws to fit nicely, and then I JB welded the whole thing around there and then put it back together again. Now this one works very well too. This is actually a 20 amp Variac. Although for this project I'm going to use this one mainly for the reason that it's smaller and lighter, and it's about 5 amps, which is all that I should be needing for what I'm going to do with it. So we're going to mount this in my Variac box that's out over there, and you'll see that in a little bit. And one of my next videos is going to be, I've got some new stuff to show you. It's not new, not even new to me, but I did dig it out from the pile, from the treasure trove, and I'd like you to see it. So with that, we'll get on with this video, and we'll see what happens. Oh, okay, sorry about that. Battery went dead. I thought I had a charge on it, but apparently I didn't. So where was I? Oh yeah. This was broke here, and the big toroid in here is covered with a piece of plastic, and the screws are threaded into the plastic, and that broke out. So I had to cut a new piece out of phenolic here, and I JB welded all this together here, and retapped the holes, put some new screws in it, and this one is ready to go. So I think I'm going to use the other one because it's smaller. If I have a problem with that one, that 5 amps should be plenty. If I have a problem with that one, I can always go to this one. So let's slide that out of the way. And this is my front panel made out of the same phenolic. And hopefully most of the parts are in the box here. Paperwork there. It's the broken part from the other, from the 5 amp jobby. Meter. Here's the meter. And it looks like I have to hunt down some other parts. This is 120 volt muffin fan that I'm going to put in the back for coolant, and since this spins pretty fast, I have an SCR controller here that I'm going to use to adjust the speed so that it's quieter and so on. And that's the cord for that. Alright, now excuse me while I get my isolate. Okay, here we go. Now when I originally set this box up, I was going to use a different isolation transformer. But we will see. Actually, we went through this I think once before, and a bunch of other YouTubers did too. Being an isolation transformer is kind of a misnomer for this, because, well, I'll show you when I get it open. These things are so ungodly heavy. That's why everybody's going with switching power supplies. You don't have 20 pounds of copper and iron. course, as far as I know, they don't have a switching isolation transformer. Come on. It's going to be no end of problems, I think. It sure feels like, oh. I was going to say, it sure feels like there's another screw in here, and sure enough, there is. Now let's try it. Oh, so much better. All right. Now, here's this beast of a transformer. My goodness. So, let's see if I can get you in a little bit and take a closer look. Okay. Now, the reason this isn't a true isolation transformer is a true isolation transformer is completely isolated from the mains. This one, although the hot side and the neutral side are insulated from the mains, you'll notice that the ground, I don't know, can you see that? The ground in there is connected to the outlets, to the 3-prong receptacle here, and actually there's separate wires into the receptacles. So, excuse me, the problem with that is your hot and your neutral are definitely isolated. However, you still have a ground connected here. Now, what happens is, if you were to short one or the other one to ground, you would still get a shock. Perhaps lethal shock. That's why this is not a good thing. Easily remedied though. All we have to do is take off the grounds and we'll be good to go. Now, let's see if this beast will fit in there. I don't want to make this box any bigger, and that's not going to work. Definitely not going to work. Oh, sorry, I guess you can't see much, can you? Now I had these cleats here to keep the transformer away from the box so the air could circulate around it. I don't even know if I don't even think that's going to help me. Might. It might. How are we doing with that? Maybe. Well, I may have to take this transformer out of the metal case. And that'll give me plenty of room in here. Oh, that's the other thing I want to check. That's what happens when you change your design midstream. Yeah, that's not, well, I suppose I could put it over here. But I have more air circulation in the back. Alright, this transformer is going to have to come out of here and be mounted in the box separately. So we're going to go true breadboard style. We're going to put it on a board. Alright, give me a few minutes to get this set up and we'll start tearing it apart. Alright, we're back now. So that's going to fit a whole lot better. There were some rubber grommets between the transformer and the metal case, which I think I'm going to reuse. It just help keep the vibrations down. But the 120 volt muffin fan will fit in there. And the Variac will fit in there. Have to do a little bit of modification yet, but that's basically how it'll be. I'll mount the speed controller somewhere over here, I think. I don't foresee myself having to adjust it very often, if ever. So that ought to work out pretty good. I'll probably put a terminal strip in here, and then of course I had toyed with the idea of using this circuit breaker that was on the isolation transformer. The only thing is, this is 7 amps, which I suppose would be okay, but I was only going to put a 5 amp fuse in it at the most. Actually, the lower the better. I mean, I could fit, because this is where the fuse holder is going to be, right here. So I could easily mount that breaker in there. I'll have to think about that for a while. And then obviously the meter's going to go in here. In here and here. And then I've got some square outlets I'm going to put in here. I'm going to make one non-isolated and the other one isolated. What I will do though is I will bring the ground in from the 3-wire cord, and I will ground the case of the transformer, and then the non-insulated outlet non-isolated outlet here, I'll have it grounded. So that's where we're coming along with this. I think that's all we're going to do for now. Now I've got to study this a little bit more. I think I'm going to have to make a, well, I have to make some kind of a bracket over here so that that'll stay up and even. And I'll have to cut out the hole for the fan. I don't know how big it needs to be. Probably 4 inches, I imagine. It looks like a little bit more. Alright, so this 4.5 inch. 4.5 inch will be good. And then I'll have this guard from the back so I don't unintentionally or intentionally stick my finger in the fan. And then we'll have to make a front panel for it. I don't know if I'll do that right away, so I'll know what everything is. I might make a temporary decal or something for it. But that'll work. I'm relatively pleased with that. I'll have to think on that circuit breaker a little bit and see what we have to do with that. I'm really not sure what these capacitors are for. It says 205J 400 VMPE, and I have no idea what that means. Nothing on the other side. And it's between the neutral and the hot. If anybody knows out there, let me know. I'm thinking I probably don't need them. That's probably just for small voltage spikes when used with computer equipment. But we'll see. If anybody knows, let me know. Alright, with that we're going to shut it down for this time. This will be part 1. And I've got a couple more on the QTs coming up, quick tips. And then we'll get busy on part 2 and see what we can do with this. Alright, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. And we'll see you next time.
I hate to say goodbye. You know the reason why. I've dreaded this moment all day.